Earlier this month, Peru went to the polls to elect a president. With strong economic growth in recent times, the country is experiencing a rise in the general standard of living. However, the distribution of wealth is still one of the biggest challenges new President Ollanta Humala faces in his first term in office. For young people from some of the most deprived areas, sport is often one of the few avenues out of poverty. It's an age-old story, but boxing is seen as a way out of such hardship all over the world. It's a sport that's helped numerous youngsters break the cycle of poverty and build a brighter future. But not so here in Peru, where young hopefuls find their path to greatness blocked by an inefficient system. Alan Paredes had the potential to become Peru's first ever male world champion, but missed out on opportunities to advance his career. Sadly for him, he was born in the wrong country, which explains why, at the age of 30, he's still waiting for his big break.
My dad taught me that to become a champion, you need to train hard and also study hard. Because if you want to get anywhere in life and you don't study, then you won't get there. In other countries, you can lead a good life. You could even say a dignified life as an athlete. But that's not the case here. Unfortunately, here you have to study and put in the extra effort to make a decent living for yourself and your family.
For the Paredes, boxing is the family business. Alan's father runs a boxing club in Surco, a downtown district of the Peruvian capital Lima. This is where he and his brothers grew up and where the next generation of the Paredes family still lives today. Alan, who fights at lightweight, had a promising amateur career and was ready to represent his country at the 2000 Sydney Olympics.
I never thought of becoming a professional boxer, but I had no choice. My university studies were hindering my progress. In 1999, I was due to go to the Pan American Games in Canada with the national team. But like all students, I also had my studies, so I only trained in the afternoons. And sometimes I couldn't even do that because I had exams. As a result, they kicked me off the team.
As an amateur athlete who won national titles, Alan received a government scholarship to go to university. However, despite meeting all the requirements, he never received an Olympic scholarship, which would have enabled him to concentrate more on his boxing. The poor boxing infrastructure in Peru is a big reason why their young fighters don't progress on the international stage. Christian Barton is Alan's manager.
Basically, there are complicated legal issues surrounding the legitimacy of the various boards of administration within the Peruvian Boxing Federation. There have been disagreements amongst different groups inside the federation for more than 10 years. They held elections, they accused one another, and they set up individual committees for professional boxing. Amongst all this chaos, the ones who suffered the most were the boxers. No one wants to get into a sport which is run badly by those in charge.
The Peruvian Institute for Sport has temporarily taken over some responsibilities from the Boxing Federation. In Peru, there's no real national development program. Talents are a rare breed here. The lack of proper boxing gyms and the internal squabbling at the federation have hit the sport hard. Although Alan Paredes has the advantage of training at his home gym, the help he gets from the sports authorities is minimal.
For anyone to reach their maximum potential, they would have to leave the country. You wouldn't be able to reach your potential here. When you train with people who don't have the same abilities as you, your level drops instead of getting better. There's also a shortage of training partners and sparring partners here.
The last time a Peruvian boxer qualified for the Olympics was in 1996 in Atlanta. Since then, Miguel Macias, who was national head coach from 2006 to 2009, has attempted to reignite Peruvian boxing by getting one of his fighters to the Olympics. One of his charges, Carlos Zambrano, travelled with the Peruvian team to the 2007 World Amateur Championships in Chicago. But instead of going on to qualify for the Beijing Olympics, Zambrano decided to turn professional and base himself in America.
At the time, I felt that I had already gone as far as I could as an amateur, and then I got an offer to turn pro in the United States, and well, I didn't think twice about it. It was like, either stay or return to Peru, back to the same old thing. So I decided to stay in the States.
Peru has produced some talented fighters, such as women's world champ Kina Malpartida, Jonathan Maicelo, Juan Zegara and Carlos Zambrano. However, they're all based in America. Miguel Macias understands why Peru's top boxers feel the urge to leave, and when it comes to talking about Alan Paredes' progression in the ring, he couldn't be more frank.
That boy's talent has been wasted. In his case, it's because the authorities and promoters didn't give the boy a hand to forge a career that he truly deserves. I'm telling you, this is the truth. He could have been our first world champion. I see Alan Paredes as someone with a great talent. Compared to Carlos, he just didn't have the luck to travel to a world championships or a country where he could have stayed. All our top boys do that, and I don't blame them. I blame myself and the authorities. We are guilty of losing our finest talents when we could just develop them here.
Alan, who has a pro record of 13 wins, 1 draw and no defeat, is also a qualified accountant. He works for an insurance company in central Lima. The regular income helps him support his family, but the 30-year-old fighter hasn't given up on his boxing dreams just yet.
Alan is one of the best boxers Peru has had in the past 20 years. But not everything is lost. His professional career is perhaps not quite going the way we would like it to go. But he's still undefeated, and he's still in with a chance of winning a title. It's really about finding a good promoter, someone who is willing to take the risk and go ahead with his project of producing a male boxing world champion from Peru.
Alan's next fight is scheduled for this weekend, but it won't be the big one. All he can hope for is that any fight he can get will bring him a step closer to competing for a world title, before it's time to hang up his gloves for good.
In the future, I could dedicate my time to my academic career. I could do a master's degree and keep developing in that area. I would have to give up absolutely everything to do with sports, because I just wouldn't be able to do both. But at the moment, I still have the desire and the dream to continue boxing. I know I still have the strength to fight for a title, even if I only get one shot at it.